Did you know Redragon manufactures their own brand of switches? Well, they do, and while some are exclusively offered on some of their select keyboards, others are available in their shop. What's up, I'm Moonrider, and in this short video, we'll talk about some of those switches and the fact that they're actually really awesome. Alright, here's like 2 sentences of context, so bear with me. The original plan for this video was to swap out the linear reds on this K673 with a set of tactile switches. The donor candidates were Outemu purples from this budget Mage Key Sky 68 and Gateron browns from this much more expensive Keymove Snowfox. As common names in switches, I figured the Outemu and Gateron switches would be comparable options to replace the Redragon switches, but turns out that wasn't the case, as I ended up swapping out Redragon's linear reds for Outemu's purples, and I almost instantly regretted it. So here we are instead, showcasing how impressive Redragon switches actually are. At least these two, because they're the only ones I've used, but they're sensational. The only reason I even considered swapping out the linear reds is because I just prefer tactile switches, not because I have anything against these switches. In fact, Redragon's linear switches are incredibly smooth and paired with the gasket mounts of the K673, incredibly quiet as well. Have a listen for yourself. Yeah, quiet, right? And the sound you do hear is so clean with no springy pings spoiling it. Unfortunately, I didn't give these switches their due credit. Since the K673 is so well insulated with 2 3.5mm pieces of padding inside, I thought that's what really delivered that pure sound. So what do the Outemu and Gateron switches sound like on this keyboard? Well, first, here's what each sounds like on their respective keyboards. Oh man, they're so pingy. And hollow. Real hollow. Especially the Outemus on the Sky 68. Neither the Sky 68 nor the Keymove Snowfox have any foam padding, at least not between the positioning plate and the PCB. Still, I wanted to give them a shot on the K673 because this board cleans up noise and dampens impurities so well. But it can only do so much. And believe it or not, I actually chose to swap in the Outemu purples and I didn't mind it, but that's just because I was happy to have that tactile feedback. But the honeymoon period ended fast, like next day fast, while I was trying to edit the footage I recorded. I ruined this keyboard and I knew I had to swap these switches out. So that's what I'm doing, but first, here's the Outemu switches on the K673. Credit where it's due, these switches do sound a lot better on the K673 thanks to the gasket mounts and dampening, but I could still hear that ringing ping and it drove me nuts. Beside the linear switches, there is one switch I fell in love with when socketed to this keyboard. Redragon's purple, rhythmical tactile switch from the K656 Gateron Pro, which I had to socket with the escape key because I ran out of Outemu switches from the Sky 68. But it sounds so good, and the tactile feedback is so much more pronounced compared with either the Outemu or Gaterons. It gives off a deep, heavy thok, and the tactile bump puts up a satisfying fight and even feels like it pushes back when you release it. But at no point does this exchange feel tiresome, only rewarding. I'm sure you all could recommend me some incredible Switch options, but as far as Switches I've experienced myself, the ones I'd really like to swap to the K673 are Redragon's Purple Rhythmical Tactiles. Problem is, they don't sell these separately, and these are just too good. I'm not emotionally ready to buy the next best thing and be disappointed. I mean, these Switches are brilliant. Bloody brilliant, as Ron Weasley would say. Then again, so are the linear reds, and it looks like I'll be enjoying those on the K673 for some time. But I will keep my eye out for any new badass tactile Switches that Redragon puts out. Or maybe if I get a wild hair up me bum, I'll splurge on some currently available Redragon Tactile, or hell, even a clicky Switch. So moral of the story, give Redragon Switches a chance. They are f***ing awesome.